Hi, I am Seda Star. I am extremely excited for the international superstar and the world non-stop traveler and human behavioral specialist, John Dr. Demartini. And also, I would like to add one more thing before John starts. You know him from the movie called The Secret. He's from The Secret movie. Is that? He's been my teacher, my mentor, and just so many things to actually say. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to Sydney.
Yes,
Australia again.
Thank you. It's nice being back.
Yeah. So, yes, as I said, I'm so excited. Actually, I know John Dr. Demartini. He's world non-stop traveler. As I said, how many years you are traveling, John?
I've been teaching 47 years.
47 years,
Yes.
I mean you are traveling 47 years, is that right?
I've been traveling since I was a child. I love traveling.
Sugar, I like traveling too. But yeah, I'm not there yet. But yes, John, I know John more than 15 years ago. I did his breakthrough seminar, and then I really needed to break through a lot of stuff in my life. And then quickly, I would like to mention, if you don't mind, I had a trauma in my childhood, and then I was dancing through life, and then, but some part of my life, my mind stuck, and I had to see John. Only takes one right person to actually meet, and he was the really right person, and he came to me in the perfect and the right time in my life. Catherine, she took me his breakthrough seminar, and I discovered a lot of things. So since then, he's been mentoring me, and then he helped me with the publishing my self-help book, I Am Seda, I Am the Dance book, and he endorsed my book. You know, what can I say? Actually, I'm going to add something more before John starts, all right? I'm really also inspired with the John affirmations. And when I saw him on the stage, he was saying, I am a genius, I apply my wisdom. I am a genius, I apply my wisdom. Actually, you came to my heart. And then as a dancer all my life, as I said, I was dancing, but some part of my mind, my mind was stuck. And then he really came to my heart. He really touched my heart, and I said, why my mind, stuck here? So I said, right, if John says that, maybe I should start doing my own affirmations. So I created my own affirmations, and then I said, right now here, from top John, I am inspired by you. I am honored to, have you in my life, and also I am the affirmation now, after all. And very happy and thankful to interview you here today.
Well, thank you.
So
what we say to ourselves does have an impact.
And
we might as well take command, because if we don't take command of our life, other people do.
So would you like to say something before I ask you a few questions?
No, except hi everyone. I'm Dr. John Demartini. And,
I talked too much.
And we've been planning this interview for about a week or so, and we're here. So, thank you for the interview.
We are here. We made it. John, I love the way you speak when you are on the stage. You are extremely amazing communicator. And would you please tell us how many people in the world you inspired so far? Do you know?
I don't know. With radio and television and newspapers and magazines and books and movies and podcasts and webinars and all that, it's a lot. We've reached a lot of people. I've spoken in 154 countries, and we've done a lot of media, and sometimes it's in the hundreds of millions that we reach. So it's got a few people. Amazing!
Oh my God! We don't know the numbers, all right? So he doesn't know the numbers because So, do you remember, I go with the numbers because I like numbers too, angels. I call everybody angels. So, do you remember how many times you came to Australia?
Well, I'm going to estimate it, but I came here in 1994 the first time. 1994. And I've been here 4 to 5 times a year since. Mm-hmm. So that's about 25 plus years. So I'm going to guess about 100 to 110 times.
Wow, amazing.
So, and I was married to an Australian, as you probably remember, and but she passed away. But so I've been coming to Australia for quite a while now.
Can I mention her name, please?
Well, her name was Athena Star Woman.
Yeah.
So many people recognized her from her times with her work, and but she's passed away about 15 plus years ago now.
Can I open a bit more conversation there, if you don't mind?
That's fine.
Yeah. Actually, when I did Dr. Demartini seminar more than 15 years ago, and my beautiful friend, she's Italian, Catherine, she took me to your seminar, said, you need this, you know. And then after, she said, hey, give John Dr. Demartini your portfolio. And I remember that day I gave it to you. She said to me, John likes you, all right? And then you actually look like a little bit his wife, Star Athena woman. I said, I'm not quite sure because I didn't know. I know you like me as a beautiful spirit myself. And then, so that time actually I was searching for, actually I started Googling and looking for who is Star Athena woman. And then I remember myself when I was little, which I put, if you don't mind, I put in the I Am Seda and the Dance Self-Help book, in the book a chapter of John and my, things there. Anyway, and then I have written how the star is born. Actually, I didn't know your ex-wife name is Star, but I remember when I was little, I used to make a lot of stars. Always make a lot of stars, and then I just say, oh, what a coincidence! Is this coincidence? Star Athena woman, and then I was little, I was Star, I want to make those stars, and then I want to change my surname after I divorced myself. So it's just amazing coincidence, or do we say this coincidence?
Well, there are people that have Star in their name in some places, but I can't say that it's a very common thing.
Yeah.
And but you had love for stars, and she did too. She grew up studying astrology, so she was Athena Star Woman because that was her name. Yeah. That's how she went. That was her formal name, actually.
And she likes, she's an astrologist, is that
She was an astrologer and mystic. They called her the mystic wonder from down under.
Wow, amazing. Like me, look, you are highly educated and intelligent, and myself, I'm a mover and dancer. So I haven't really studied. I like the numbers though. I like the stars and the numbers. And I have written this book. Thank you so much for that, for help, I should say. And I got so many questions to hear, but what is in my mind right now, I'm going to ask you, and then later on I have to take a look at my notes. I remember on the stage you said, even when you become 100 years old, you will still come and visit Sydney and Australia, maybe Melbourne as well. So. Yeah. So the question is, are you still having same thoughts, same feelings? You would like to come to Australia when you're 100 years old?
I love traveling the world teaching. That's been a dream of mine since I was 17, and I've been to 154 countries speaking, and I've taught the Breakthrough Experience in 64 of those. Yeah. So I love doing that, and right now I see no reason why I wouldn't continue. When I was 16 years old, I had a goal to go and surf on the North Shore of Oahu, big waves on the North Shore, because I was a surfer living on the North Shore at the time. And I recently, when I turned 65 last year, I went and surfed big waves on the North Shore. Wow. So now I've reset that for 100 years to at 100 years surf big waves on the North Shore. So I plan on surfing on that day, and there's no reason why I can't. Unless my body says no, I will hopefully speak and do it because I love teaching.
Amazing. So there's two questions you have created while you were saying that. So actually I was going to ask the question, but you already answered it. How are you feeling energetically? You already answered the question that you're still surfing.
Yes.
Yeah. And anything you want to say?
No, just...
And amazing. And then, oh my God, it's so inspiring, actually, to be honest. I would like to be like you.
Well, I mean, if you're doing something you really love doing, I think that reduces the stress levels, and I think it helps reduce the aging process and allows you to have more vitality to go do something that's inspiring. I tell people, that if you don't fill your day with very high priority things that inspire you, your day tends to fill up with low priority distractions that don't. One that brings you stress and wellness, and one that brings kind of illness. And so I think that the world and our world around us is giving us feedback when we're not authentic, and is trying to get us to live more authentically and integral to what it is that's really deeply meaningful to us. If we do that, our body rallies and our immune system flourishes, and we tend to have more vitality in life. So I tell people to go after what you really love in life and give yourself permission to go do something extraordinary doing what you really love. You love dancing and you love inspiring people. I love educating and researching, so I do that every day.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks so much. Yes, it's quite, what you were saying is actually the where actually you had me many years. The time doesn't matter how much you can dance. I said in my book, I am the dance. But I was dancing to, enjoy my life, and I was dancing to survive. I didn't know that I had to clear my mind. I had to go through some clarity, which I learned from you, and to become the really freedom, I should say.
Well, we can become in bondage to our emotional perceptions, our emotionalized perceptions, and they can occupy space and time in our mind and run us. Or we can liberate ourselves by focusing on what we really love and filling our day with very high priority things. Anytime we do the highest priority things, we grow in self-worth. Every time we do low priority things, we devalue ourselves. And the devaluing of ourselves is a feedback to let us know we're not being authentic to what we value most.
You know, how amazing is that? Because I have experienced myself. Sometimes we can be really addicted to pain. So I was, in the past myself, just like I want to go through things, to learn things, and I want to feel things. Like, it's just amazing why the people, they want to go through and learn and experience I accept that, and I'm taking responsibility of each things that what I have been going through, and probably my acceptance comes from the things that I have actually learned from you.
Well, when people, when we live by our highest priorities, our blood glucose and oxygen goes into our higher, more cortical areas of the brain, the executive center, where we govern ourselves and we're more objective and we're more prepared and have resilience to whatever happens in our life. And we're more clear and inner directed. If we're not fulfilling what's most important to us, we go into our amygdala, our subcortical brain, and there we look for a quick fix. We look for immediate gratification. And the pursuit impulsively to look for a pleasure without a pain brings in the pain and accentuates the pain to try to teach us that life has both pain and pleasure. We need both to grow. If we didn't have any challenges or any resistance or any painful experiences, there would be less growth. So we need both. And when we embrace both along our purpose and our pathway in life, we tend to do much more effective living. But if we are looking for a one-sided world, that's like expecting a one-sided magnet. And we keep trying to get rid of half of our life and half of ourselves in the pursuit of it. So I'm a firm believer in embracing both sides of life, pain and pleasure in the pursuit of a great purpose.
So basically it's good to feel our feelings and then basically facing the feelings.
Yeah, we'll learn from them because they're letting us know that we have a perception that's probably imbalanced. Mm-hmm. Anaxagoras, philosopher 2,600 years ago, said that pain and pleasure are imposters, as Kipling says, and they're letting us know that we have an imbalanced perspective. So if we're addicted to pleasure, pain becomes more accentuated. In fact, if you take an aspirin, if somebody takes a pharmaceutical like an aspirin, it not only reduces pain, but it also reduces pleasure. They go down together. And so we think we can get rid of one without the other, but they all work as a team. They're like two poles of a magnet. And life has got both sides of the magnet. So when we embrace both sides of the magnet and not try to get rid of half of everything, we have more fulfillment in life.
Yeah. Yes, I'm confirming what you say, of course.
Yes. So the pain is part of life.
I learned so much from you after all this seminars, courses, and everything that I've been attending. On the top of it, I was listening your audio CD every day, John. I mean, John is my friend right now.
Well, maybe that was the pain. That's the source of the pain, having to listen to me all day.
Yeah, sometimes, that's right. Anyway, so I like laughing. Actually, also laughing is the best medicine too. Is that right?
Well,
can we agree to that one?
There's time to be serious. There's time to be playful. But without a doubt, a good laugh one time gets those endorphins moving.
You know, sometimes that I'm a little bit childish, so I accept that part of me. I said, "Who cares? Is that all right with that?"
Yeah, it's essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to play a bit too. That keeps me young.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so now another question because I got so many, but so all right, you already I think answer, but I'm going back to similar to question, but I want to ask you: did you have enough of traveling?
Do I have enough of traveling?
Yeah.
No, I love traveling. Where I live, I live on a ship, and the ship travels full time. And if I'm not on the ship traveling, I'm in a flight somewhere to go to a city traveling, and so I live full time in hotels or on the ship. I don't live any one place. So the world is home. The universe is my playground. The world is my home. Every country is a room in the house. Every city is a platform to get to share my heart.
You are amazing. You know, last time I heard you on the stage, you were saying, "I am homeless."
Yes, well, I am. Earth is home. I live in a big friggin' house called Earth because I don't live in any one location.
I want to go on that ship, John. I want to see what's going on there.
Well, the ship goes all over the world, so I pop off and on as I travel.
Alrighty, and then all right. So for me, most important actually question from all. I know for me, I mean, always for me, because I know from my end, my experience that I'm talking about. Your breakthrough seminars, the other things that I did, I know they are very, very effective. I know it. I know the time that I was stuck in my mind, that I couldn't get to some stuff. All right. I cannot say myself I was mentally ill, but I was really mentally stuck. All right. And they are not only me, not myself. They are, as you already from your end, many people around the world. They stuck. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing, and all these things. Basically, they are beyond that as well. My heart. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Maybe because of my, experiences in the past. I have a compassion. Maybe I cannot be the best friend, but really, the mentally people who's they are on medication or they have no they don't have cure. And do you have anything for these people that we can help them? I mean, I wish I can help them myself.
Many health conditions, psychological or physiological, are a result of lifestyle or perceptions. And if we have unrealistic expectations on our life, we're going to be depressed. Depression is a comparison of your current reality to unrealistic expectations you're imposing on yourself or on other people. If you expect other people to live in your values, if you expect you to live in other people's values, if you expect a one-sided world, positive without negative, happy without sad, positive without, one-sidedness, you're going to end up pretty depressed because you're expecting life to be one-sided and it's not going to be. So there are things you can do to give people their power back instead of medicating them or treating them with other forms of therapy. By giving them the power back, by teaching them how to ask new questions, to become conscious of things that are unconscious and have them become aware of realistic expectations. And when they do, their life is flourishing compared to what it could be. I've seen people that are having unrealistic expectations on spouses. They expect the spouse to read their mind and do what they expect all the time, and when they don't, they're angry and resentful, and then they're depressed, and they're feeling frustrated, or they're angry at themselves because they think they're supposed to be living in somebody else's values that they see on Facebook. And these expectations, if they're become aware of that they're unrealistic, and start to ask new questions and set realistic expectations, they calm down a lot of psychological and physiological challenges and, quote, illnesses.
But what do you say about the person that they already actually have a blockage? When you say things to them, you cannot get through them.
Everybody has a set of values, and if I don't communicate in a way where they're going to get what they value fulfilled, they're going to shut down. It's normal. So part of it is the individual, and part of it is the way we're communicating with that individual. Because many times I'll have a woman or a man come to me and say, well, my spouse, they're narcissistic, they're demanding, controlling, and everything else, and they're just stuck and they won't change. And then I'll go and I'll chat with them, and I'll find out they're perfectly normal people, and the spouse doesn't know how to communicate in the values of that individual, and they're labeling that and projecting labels onto them instead of learning how to communicate with them. If we communicate with ourselves effectively and communicate with other people effectively and put realistic expectations on ourselves and other people in the world, amazingly, the world does quite fine. We start appreciating the world again, appreciating people and ourselves again.
You know what? When you talk about communication, all right, so I have a big, I don't know how I say this. Communication is, of course, is very important for me. And I like the part of you, how you communicate with people. That is the art. You find a way to communicate people, to open the gate, open the door, open their heart. Is that right? And then for me is the most important things, in this section, communication is really important. Like when I did your breakthrough seminar, as I said earlier, more than 15 years ago, so I'm doing repetition as well myself. If you don't repeat it, you don't get better, all right? In that seminar, you told me, I asked it in shallow voice. I was very anxious and anxiety, and I was getting all these panic attacks. I said, if you remember that, I said, John, would you please tell me why do I have this thyroid problem? And then that time, actually, you said some part of your life, I felt like he was like a psychic. I said, you said to me, some part of your life when you were a child, you were suppressed, you were an express, and you were depressed, you were an express, and you have to learn to speak out. And you said, you have to learn to speak out, you have to learn to speak out. And then he said 2-3 times, speak out, speak out, speak out. And then you know what? My penny dropped. That time I realized that all the traumas that I had in the past, I was dancing through life to survive. I was hanging on my expression and dancing and moving my body. But I realized it was like a disability that I had, that I couldn't express my own feelings. I would either come from anxiety, stress, panic attack, or I would get angry, frustrated to express my feelings to people. Yeah, so the communication is really important for me. And then I'm going to add actually one more thing. My name is Seda in Turkish, meaning Seda, S-E-D-A, means sound, voice. And then you are very special, very important for me. And I know there are so many people in the world, you are important for them too. But as we're having this interview here together, I'm talking from my feelings, from my heart, from my end, that how important you are for me. And you are my, how you say it, you are my role model, and it's important for me, because after you said that, I discovered a lot of things about myself. Just like I became actually free. Dancing was making me free, but I became free. I'm free to speak now. You see, I'm speaking now. John, I'm speaking. I joined the Toastmasters after you said that.
If we minimize ourselves to other people, we'll inject their values into our life and we'll repress ourselves, trying to live in their values. Mm-hmm. If we are exaggerating ourselves and looking down on people, we'll tend to express ourselves and minimize their life. Mm-hmm. If we look across and realize that nobody's worth putting on pedestals or pits, but everybody's worth putting in hearts, we'll have a dialogue, and that's healing. Mm-hmm. A dialogue is healing. So you're now more dialogue-oriented, and you're able to communicate, and that's freeing. That's liberating.
This is also healing.
Yeah, it's healing.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Amazing. So I thank you again for your also world communication skill. You are amazing. People, they were honoring Michelangelo for his magnificent masterpieces, and then they asked him, how the hell did you do that? And he said, well, if you saw the amount of work behind it, you would not think it so
amazing. You know, people sometimes come up and say, "Oh, you're gifted as a speaker." I said, "No, I was unable to speak at one time. I had speech problems when I was a child, and all I'd done is just do it. You learn to play the flute by playing the flute. So I've just been out there doing it, doing 350 speeches a year for years."
Can I add that one out there? Exactly. You had the difficulties, and then angels. I think it's important to just come out there and really, really be brave and open heart, and then express your feelings, even if something wrong, and just go out and talk and get challenge.
When we see things on the way, not in the way, we're liberated. So it's one of the greatest questions we can ask ourselves is, how is whatever I'm experiencing today helping me fulfill what's most deeply meaningful to me today? So, because we can sit there and become victims of our history, we become masters of our destiny. If we ask questions, how is whatever's happening on the way, not in the way, we don't get distracted by it. We actually appreciate it. And appreciation allows us to appreciate and value in the world. So asking whatever's happening to me today, how's it helping me get my dream? That's liberating.
And even whatever happening today, even let's say bad experience.
It's not a bad experience, it's just an experience. The moral labels of good and bad hinders people, because what it does, it puts a box around things instead of seeing both sides of things. So I tell people, don't label it good or bad things. Just label it an event, and how is this event helping me fulfill my life? Because if you label it one way, you get attached to it. If you label it the other way, you get detached from it, and it runs your life. You're externally run. But if you see both of them and see both sides of it, you're detached from the labels, and you're actually free to go on and see how it's on the way. And I'm a firm believer that no matter what happens in your life, it's exactly what's needed in that moment to help you go to the next level.
Amazing. It just... John is very inspiring person. Like, since then, I'm inspired. I feel like I'm inspired forever. I got more questions to hear, John. Would you please tell me how you feel? How you feel different, or what is it different? I'm still learning. I'm a questioner, right? Since I'm little, I like asking questions to people, but sometimes frustrates me how to ask these questions. But please correct me if I'm wrong. How you feel, or what is it different you're feeling when you were 25 years old and now? Like, what is...
Well, when I was 25, I was in professional school studying, and I was speaking and lecturing every night in the evenings, and I was researching voluminously at the time, and attending classes and doing clinical work. So my life then was primarily health-related. I was studying philosophy also and studying other disciplines. I was teaching dentistry, and I was teaching also in T&J specialty in astronomy, actually. But at the same time, I was mainly focused on health. That just kept emerging. When I got into practice and I did well in practice, that led me to helping other doctors. That led me into business world. It helped me and help people in empowering more areas of their life. So I was a little bit more specialized then. Now it's a little broader in human behavior. But I still do some of the same presentations that I did even when I was 25, occasionally. Sometimes I get asked by doctors to do special presentations, and they're similar to that, with more knowledge, of course, but they're similar topics.
So can we say that the experiences that you were going through when you were a child, they told you that you cannot speak right and all these things, does that make you to push you out of your comfort zone and then kind of a little bit nice ego? You just say, I can do it, I can do this. Is that how it happened? Like,
I was told in first grade that I would never be able to read or write, never be able to communicate, never amount to anything, never go very far in life. And I was learned challenged at the time. And I had dyslexia, and I had speech problems. When I was 17, after living on the streets for a number of years, I met a teacher who inspired me.
Yeah.
And that was the first night listening to him speak that I thought maybe I could overcome my learning problems. And so I went out on a quest to see if I could overcome my learning problems.
Yeah.
And that led me to having to read a dictionary with the help of my mom and practice spelling, pronouncing, and using the word in a sentence and gain meaning in a word And I worked on 30 words a day, and I didn't go to bed at night until I had memorized 30 new words a day. And with the help of my mom, because she made sure I did that, I grew my vocabulary enough where I could start to read. And then when I did, I never stopped. I've just been voluminously reading.
That's what you really wanted.
Yeah, so I really wanted to do it, and I found a strategy to transcend the label that I had on myself and the belief I had. And I found out that with a little bit at a time, you can conquer pretty well anything if you stay with it. You just don't stop. Perseverance is the key.
Yeah. And is your compassion to others, teaching and break through them and then inspire them and free them from themselves, does that come from your own experiences that you had, or you already had that already? You're born like that?
I don't know if it's compassion for somebody. I don't know if I perceive them suffering and that I'm trying to help them through their suffering. I believe that there's an inherent genius in everyone, and there's a magnificence in everyone, and when I see people not recognizing it, and I have tools that can help them recognize it, I'd rather share those tools with them so they can recognize their magnificence. It's not because I see them in sorrow or pain or whatever. It's just because I see what they're capable of doing, and I like sharing ideas that help them do it because it's so inspiring to watch them do it.
You know, I feel like I'm same as him, all right? Lady version. You know, I like to see people happy, they're empowered, because I know when they are happier and this world is going to be a better place, you know, and when person is not confident with themselves and they're not comfortable, something irritates them, and then they act differently, and just energy changes, you know.
Well, if you all of a sudden you were walking down the street or on the field somewhere and you found this 50 carat or 100 carat diamond, and you go, whoa, that's an amazing diamond. It's a natural diamond. And then you thought, wow, do I hide it so no one gets it? Do I expose it and take a risk with it? Do I put it in a vault somewhere? What do I do with it? And I feel like as I've learned and I've been developing knowledge and studying and learning from other great teachers, I've found a diamond out there, and it's like, what do I want to do? Put it in a vault somewhere and hide it where nobody will see it, or do I share it? And I'd rather share insights and gems that help people do something extraordinary with their life. I really believe that innately people want to make a difference, and helping them by giving them ideas to do that is inspiring for me. I love doing it.
It's amazing. You speak to my heart. You really speak. From my end, I always say from my hand. It is like, it is, you're speaking the truth. All right, that's the question that I remember. The truth. When you're speaking your truth, sometimes truth can be hurtful. My daughter, she said, oh, Mom, truth can be hurtful. But anyway, truth can be hurtful for the people who doesn't understand the truth, and then who doesn't understand to learn to understand the truth. Then what do you do with it? Like when you try to explain people the truth, I mean, you can actually, work on this side of yourself or this side of yourself, and then the person can maybe get upset or something. How do you deal with these people that they may get upset with you? Like I was a little bit upset with you in the beginning.
Well, I get people upset with me every day. I consider that normal in life. If you're not being crucified, you're probably not on purpose. And if you're going out and you're being unique, there's a full spectrum of values across the world. And you have people that are similar values that are like friends, and other people have different values that are like enemies. And they're the whole spectrum. And you're going to be supported and challenged in life. And you're going to have friends and enemies. And you're going to be liked and disliked. And I don't have this expectation to get one without the other. I fully embrace that. The pleasure and the pain of life is part of the bouquet that makes it magnificent. So if I speak something that I know is true and it's sound and it's got scientific basis for it, if it's painful, it's only because people are addicted to their fantasy, and the pain of the loss of their fantasy, the dopamine withdrawal, is a grief for them. So then they want to project that hurt onto you, and they want to attack you for breaking their fantasy. But I endure that. I share what information that I know is solid, and whether people like it or dislike it is not really my concern. I'll try to do it as effective as I can and articulate it in a way where it meets their values, so it's less aggressive doing it. But there's no way I can go and do what I do without having some people like and dislike it. It's just part of life.
Is it sometimes people, I mean, people, they're really difficult in their understanding level, and then, there are two questions in one. Sorry, because my mind going fast right now. So some people attending that they have really difficult to understanding, and they can kind of a little bit become, if you say this, like dangerous, or how do you do? I mean, people, they have to take them out, just, hey, you're not behaving properly, or you don't understand, or
it
come
depends.
on the side. Yeah.
I was in South Africa one time speaking to about 1,600 people, and a lady who had been drinking came up the steps and came up on the stage and started to speak right in the middle of my talk. and I turned and I said, hello, and she goes, and just started speaking. And people are going, what's this lady doing? And so I didn't do anything except the security people came up and took her off the stage and escorted her out of the conference. In some cases, on rare occasions, I'd say very rare, I have to have people removed. I had somebody, bizarre thing, I had a lady that came into my seminar in a wedding dress and a minister thinking that she was going to marry somebody in the seminar.
Oh, really?
And wanted to distract the whole seminar in a wedding dress, planning on having a wedding that was spontaneous. And we had to get the security people to take her out because she was wrong place.
Yeah.
So I've had various things happen, and they're funny. They're comical after a while. You get good comedy out of it. But I think that, you go with the punches, as they say. Sometimes those things happen, and you use them in the best way you can in those moments to accomplish them. But sometimes you have to be firm with people. I've had people come in and try to take and utilize as an opportunist in seminars and try to take command of the seminar. And I go, this isn't the seminar. They're not paying for you. So if you're not going to be respectful of what this is, then you'll have to depart. And then it's just, you try to do it as respectfully and tactfully as you can, but sometimes you have to be firm with people.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I'm not a nice person. I'm not a mean person. I'm a human being. And if you support my values, I can be nice. And if you challenge my values, I can be tough.
Yeah.
I embrace both sides of myself. I don't try to get rid of half of myself. You're not going to love yourself trying to get rid of half of yourself.
Thank you so much for that answer. And love. What is more important for you, love or ambition? Not just in the business though, but also in the general life.
I think all of it is. Everybody has a different set of values. Some people have a value on business achievements. Some people have a value on wealth building. Some people have a value on intellectual pursuits. Some have social networking. Some people have spiritual quests. Some people have physical fitness. Some people have a desire to have a beautiful family. It's all okay. I don't make any of those better or worse than others because there's a time for all those. I'm a firm believer that we're here to empower all areas of our life. And so I have times where I want to put focus on my relationship and my love and intimacy, and other times I want to focus on my business, and other times I want to focus on social interaction. All of it is allowed. You don't want to put a box on yourself saying this one's better than this one's or this one's worse than that one. It's all necessary. And doing it in a way you're getting to do what you love, because each person has a unique set of values, and whatever those values are is where they're going to emphasize. And we need everybody. We need people to focus on business and social and spiritual. We need every one of those out there in the world. So I don't want to make one dominant over the other. I'd rather empower all of them.
Yeah. Thanks. We already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you this question again. Where do you spend most of your time?
Most of my time is presenting and teaching. If I look at the hours I put on that's where most of it is. Either teaching up on stage or workshops or in keynotes or doing webinars, podcasts, radio, television, newspapers, magazines, writing articles or doing one-on-one. That's all teaching to me. Mm-hmm. And I do definitely most of my day is that. The rest of it is research. And when I'm traveling, I'm doing research. And sometimes I'm on my way to teaching when I'm traveling. So some people go, well, you have a very prioritized life with very little other things. And I say, well, that's because I chose that. That's what I love. These are the things I love doing, so I fill my day with things I love. Do
you like spending time alone?
Yes, I do. I love researching alone. when I'm last night, I was working till about 2 in the morning, just working away. I love having time to go and research and learn and meditate and think about, contemplate some of the ideas that I'm working on, and also the writing. I love writing, but I usually do that alone.
Okay, another question. You said meditate.
Yeah.
So you meditate every day, is that right?
I wouldn't say every single day, but most every day I'm doing some form of meditation. It may be on a plane, it may be getting ready to lay in bed, or it may be sitting in a chair, or maybe in a yoga position if I'm doing yoga.
I was going to ask
I've been doing meditation since 1972.
72. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I was born on I'm not going to say it. So 72. So what is how long you meditate for? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
It varies. Sometimes I'll sit down sometimes and meditate for 15 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes I've done for hours and hours and hours. I sometimes meditate for hours with a notepad, and every time I get an inspiration, I'll write. But now it's a computer, but I'll just type it out and get an inspiration and type it, and I use it. There's all different types of meditations. I put them together and use them for all different purposes. So.
Actually, you answered part of my question, which I already asked. I was going to also ask. I know that you are doing everyday yoga as well.
No, I don't want to say that, because that wouldn't be true. I did yoga yesterday. I'll probably do yoga tonight. I can't say it's every day. Mm-hmm. Some days I have incredibly intense schedules, and I'm starting my days at 7 and going till midnight. And then I may not do a yoga session that night. I may try to get some rest, or I may be getting on a plane and flying to another city and speaking the next morning somewhere else. So I can't say it's every day, but I still do stretching and, calisthenic type of activities and some yoga, but it's not every day.
Is it actually answering my question that what do you do in your daily life for you to stay positive and healthy and vibrant, shining light?
Well, that would be a little bit of a fantasy. I don't stay always positive. Sometimes I'm dealing with very challenging issues in the world, and I'm dealing with conflicts in the world, and I'm mediating them. And sometimes I have challenging things. So I'm not a positive person. I'm more of a balanced individual. How do I stay vital? I eat wisely. I drink water. I don't drink anything that's volatile. I don't eat sweets. I don't drink alcohol.
More like chili.
I don't eat a lot of. I don't eat anything that's extremely volatile or to blood sugar, or I'm really simple. I live not to eat, but I eat to live, and I try to maximize my performance. And so if I eat something, it's going to be something that's going to maximize my accomplishment of what I want to accomplish. I'm a purpose-oriented person, a man on a mission, you might say. And so I eat well, I drink water, and I breathe deeply, and I do a little calisthenics, and I do what I love every day, and I think that keeps you pretty youthful.
Would you please tell us how long do you think, if you know, to live?
How long will I live?
How long, you're going to live.
I don't know that. I don't know if anybody can tell me the exact day. Some people have premonitions of that, but I have recently added a goal to go ahead and surf at 100. So I'm going to work on that, because I surf big waves at 65 like I committed to. I started that goal at 16, amazing. So I would like to surf at 100. I'd like to surf the North Shore big waves on my 100th birthday. That'd be kind of cool.
Wow.
So, and I'm definitely, if I'm alive at 100, I'm going to be doing a speech on that day for sure.
And I keep always saying that, how do you stay so beautiful, young, and healthy? You don't even have any wrinkle.
Well, you know what I do? And if I see a wrinkle surface, I scrape it off with a washcloth.
Amazing.
I do have a little exercise. I take a washcloth and I exfoliate my skin every single day, and it stimulates collagen, and it stimulates, it reduces glycation, which causes discoloration. And I also trained when I was with Athena. We trained under a lady named Della Runic, who's a famous Greek model, and she taught us how to have an expressionless face, because models have to not show expression. And so what they do is she trained us on how to keep a face not with an anxious position of facial expression, so which tightens the muscles and contracts and makes wrinkles. So I trained on how to be expressionless, not to create extreme tensions in the face, and also do exfoliation and drink a lot of water and eat wisely.
Do you know facial yoga came out Have you tried it one?
Yeah, there's facial expressions that yogis
yoga.
do to stretch and keep the flexibility up. But what happens as we get older, we get sugars attached to proteins and lipids, and we start to have the elastin go down and flexibility go down. And the excessive use of sugar is one of the biggest things that ages us, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Drinking water, not eating sugar and sweets prolong our youthfulness. And keeping stretching and keeping moving. That's, if we use it, we don't lose it.
Amazing. I'm getting anxious here. I have so many things actually I want to ask John Dr. Demartini. When I have him here, I want to make sure we have a lot and more. As I said earlier, you really inspired me with your affirmation on the stage.
Yes.
And I know affirmations are very powerful, and I didn't really know that. And first affirmation that I heard from you, now as I said earlier, I became affirmation freak. I have created my own affirmation programs and products. And then these affirmations were also working for you as well. I mean, I believe you are doing affirmations over the years. Is that right?
Yes. Well, an affirmation is not just a positive statement as some New Age people like to promote. An affirmation means a condition of firmness in one's mind, something that sticks and is something that's congruent with what you value, and it's a checkup from the neck up. So if I said I'm always happy, I'm never sad, those are delusions. But if I say, whether I'm supported or challenged, whether people like or dislike me, I know that they're keeping me authentic and centered, then an affirmation is a checkup for a neck up to remind us of principles or actions that have been proven to work in achieving what we want in life. So affirmations are like a checklist of the mind.
So you've been practicing affirmation every day like myself, I'm doing right now, like a mad woman?
For over 47 plus years.
I believe affirmation makes you to do what you say. And
well, if it's congruent, if you set up an affirmation that's not congruent with what's really meaningful and what's really priority to you, then they can be self-defeating. But if you set something up that's balanced, that's congruent with what you value, you have a high probability of having a catalyst and a reminder to build momentum doing what it is that the affirmation represents.
Can I ask you, what is your favorite affirmation?
Well, my favorite affirmation is I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I learned a genius is one who listens to their inner voice and follows the inner vision of their soul, you might say, and lets the voice and the vision on the inside become louder than all opinions on the outside. And that's the affirmation that had such an impact on my life when I was 17.
And do you have a support person? Do you have you have a role model? Do you have a mentor that, while you're traveling around the world, you're looking after other people, but as we said, you are a human, you need to be looked after too. How do you maintain all? Like, do you have someone that you talk to and see, like, if you overloaded from work or whatever, whatever it is that?
Well, I prioritize my day, and I have a list of priorities, and I delegate everything else off my plate. So I don't do anything that's really stressful. I do what I love every day. And I say no to anything that's not what I love to do. I just don't do it. And so I don't really have anybody that's protecting me from that. I don't take it on. And I basically have people that I delegate things to. I have people all over the world that take care of all these different components. So all I do is research, write, travel, and teach. Those are the 4 things I love doing. I learned at age 28 not to be doing things that are low in value. Stick to things that are priority. And so I've surrounded myself with people who are experts in the area around me that do the things that I want to delegate and let them do it. And that way I just get up and I research and I learn. I write and write articles. I travel and then I teach. And those are the things. And those aren't too stressful to me. They don't overwhelm me.
Amazing. I'm still on the journey, Angels. So I still have a lot of things to learn from John. But everything is learning. So last time I was saying to John, no, I don't like learning. Actually, I love learning, Yeah, it's important how you communicate. If you have the greatest communicator in the world, like John Dr. Demartini, I would love to learn everything from him. John, so basically, all right, who's your favorite singer?
The favorite singer?
Let's have a little bit fun, all right?
I can't say that I spend a lot of time in music anymore. I did when I was a teenager.
All right.
So I don't have a lot of interaction with singers. I have met amazing singers. I've met hundreds of singers over the years. And I've actually been at concerts occasionally, but I can't say there's one favorite. I like the variety of different music and different moments in different countries. So I've got, I've met so many singers along the way that I love listening to all their music. But I can't say there's one that stands out. I did grow up in the 60s, and I did grow up in the era of rock and roll. And so I do probably have a little bit of a flavor for rock and roll. And I've spoken to some of the people in the rock and roll business. But I can't say there's any one piece of music.
Okay. This was like little kind of...
But I do
flavor question for you.
Yeah, I do have many songs that have brought tears of inspiration to me, and I've kept records of those. But there's numerous. It's not just one.
All right. You attend, of course. You go. Attend. How you say? You attend places and you go places. You socialize. Is that right? Socialize, or you just mainly...
Most of the time I'm speaking. I do some socializing at different events. Sometimes the night before I'm doing a gig, there'll be a social gathering or something. And I usually am, at the end of my talks, I greet all the people that were attending. I'm sometimes there for hours greeting people and signing books and answering questions and stuff. So that's sort of my social life. But I don't just go out social partying, and things like that. I don't do much of that. I'd rather be researching and learning and trying to have new material to share with people, try to help people.
Yeah.
But I do socialize to some degree. I go to dinners occasionally.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much so far. And with the breakthrough courses, seminars, workshops around the world, anything you'd like to mention? For me, what was the most important question that I was asking? I don't know. I have compassion for these people, but people who is going through really mental difficulties. Do you think that's the breakthrough course to really help them?
Yes, I think the method that I've been blessed to develop, the Demartini method, has vast implications when it comes to mental health. We've done research at Tokyo, the Keio University, on grief, and I'm writing a new book on that because we have a method that dissolves grief, absolutely dissolves grief. We've proven it and done it. We've got an unbelievable track record with that. And also same thing for depression and anxiety. I just had a presentation interview on anxiety this morning, one of them. And so a lot of the psychological conditions and physiological conditions can be helped by the breakthrough experience. We've had hundreds, literally thousands of people referred by physicians and psychiatrists and psychologists to the breakthrough. And I have 6,000 facilitators helping me teach this work now around the world. And many of them are psychologists and health professionals. Most of them are. So there's no doubt that the breakthrough experience can help people in those areas. Absolutely.
This makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I already know because, as I said, I had my own difficulties. It's really good to hear that. And I would like to know what you haven't achieved in your life yet that you would like to achieve. If these two questions could be the same one, please help me here. Or mission. What is your mission?
My mission is to research, write, travel, teach, and to use my faculties the best I can, physically and mentally, to be of service and live an extraordinary life, doing what I can to serve other people and help people expand their awareness, potential, to evolve, help them evolve and accomplish what they set out to do. And I intend to do that. And I originally wanted to go to every country on the earth to do that. I've been to 154 countries so far, so we've got about 50-something to go. And I intend to continue to do that. I would like to reach all the countries. I still have some countries to go, so I'll be working towards that. We've got a new one coming up, Sri Lanka, very shortly. That was signed the other day. And I was just recently in Turkey, speaking in Turkey, and we had a blast there. We had a lot of media coverage there and a big turnout, and we're going back there. We got 2 more programs that are being booked there. So
you learned some Turkish?
No, I didn't learn a lot of Turkish, but I met some amazing people. There were some lovely people.
Myself, of course.
There were some great people in Turkey. And it's a massive city. There's like 25, 30 million people there. in Istanbul.
And
most people, I don't think if they've never been there, would not realize how massive that city is and modern it is. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. But I intend to go to as many countries as possible. That's why I live on the world, the ship of the world, because it goes to every country that water is near.
Wow.
So that way I can go to countries.
Do you think, John, do you think follow your path? I can travel around the world?
Well, I think that many people, if you ask people in the seminars, how many of you want to travel the world, most people put their hands up and go, yeah, I'd love to travel the world. I didn't want to fantasize about it. I wanted to do it. So I organized my life so I could.
Amazing. Actually, you know what? You are extraordinary, right? For me, I would as John said, everybody says they like to travel around the world, but I think, yes, I like to travel around the world, but I don't have, if I will have that things that I would like to non-stop traveling around the world for many, many years. That's why for me, I think you are amazing. How are you constantly doing that?
It's just values. It's what I value. I don't have a value on sitting in one place. I have a value on bringing my ideas and messages to people around the world.
Yeah.
So that's more valuable to me than sitting still somewhere. So I do that.
You're right.
It's just values.
Yeah.
It's not anything. I'm not extraordinary. I'm just a guy with a different set of values. And some people who may like those values may think I'm excessive in that area. But it's not my concern. My concern is me fulfilling what it is that I set out to do. We compare ourselves to ourselves and the goals we have. Not to other people.
If I was traveling around the world, I think I could be just dancing and swimming all the time.
Well, you like to dance on the rock, and you like to go out in the ocean, and so that's what you do. And whatever's valuable to you, you'll make sure it happens.
John, thank you very much for mentioning my rock. This is my holy rock. Actually, before we finish, a couple more questions, and I will going to explain. John, would you hold this for a second?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going. So John holding my book in his hand. Actually, this is his creation. I mean, my creation, my inspiration, and the Holy Rock things. And I'm going to mention this if you don't mind. John, as I was saying, John was helping me. Yeah, that's enough. John was helping me to actually publish my book, and as I said, he endorsed my book. And then I was asking, I just said, John, how should I have my front cover and the back cover of my book? And then I remember John said to me, make sure front and the book cover of the book has to have your photo on it to engage with the people. So my penny dropped again. You really, really inspire me. This is amazing. Please hold again. And then I was thinking, I said, where I want my book cover to be like, where it should be. And then I'm just thinking, John said that. All right, what is this book about? This book about being real. The woman, she's going dancing through life and so on. I said, this is an authentic book. And I'm sitting on this rock all the time. I'm going up and down, walking in the Tamarama in Bondi Beach. And I sit there, I've been doing my own affirmations and doing my own things. I said, John said that this is what I'm going to do. I visualize myself with this scarf.
Yep.
And then what you said, he's again, as I said, he's very special in my life. He made me my penny dropped. I said, all right, that's where I'm going to have. Actually, I create this my Holy Rock thing, but it just kind of guided through me. I don't know.
This is a place you love to meditate, and this is a place you love to go.
Yeah.
So this is where you feel like your sacred spot.
Yeah.
And so you dance. Life is a dance. You're either a victim of circumstance or you're a master of the dance. You then allow yourself to be master of the dance on this sacred rock that you love meditating in. So it's a picture, an image of what was priority to you.
You are the part of this creation.
Well, I don't know. I gave you feedback on maybe what and how to put together the book, but it's your creation. Yeah,
thank you. So this is the book actually. Yeah, that's very special. I mean, I never written book in my life. I have to thank you, John, made me to do that. John, do you like my Holy Rock?
Yes, I've actually done the walk to Bondi and everything else and been to that spot, so I've definitely been there.
Would you please like to come to my Holy Rock next time? I want a mini interview.
I don't know about our time. I would have to schedule that, but when I first met Athena, the first time we came here, we went to that Holy Rock.
Are you serious?
Yes, we walked there. So that was a place that I came here early time when I first came to Australia.
Would you please tell me, there is something, that's what I'm saying. It's just, I have no idea, but there's something that, how do you call this, deja vu or something? Something from the past, actually I remember the future, but I don't remember everything.
Yes.
For you, this is not freaky. It could be freaky for some other people, but I remember you are in my life,
Well, there's many different associations that our brain makes.
Yeah.
I can't state the past and future that way. I'm more knowledgeable about my past. I can only speculate about my future and set plans to increase the probability of me achieving what I want in the future. But I believe that there's a synchronicity, as Deepak called it, the synchrodestiny in many people's lives.
So you being on my holy rock with this star Athena woman and yourself.
Yeah, well, I think millions of people have been on that rock along the journey. So there's not just millions of people walk that rock.
Yeah, also I have so many visitors coming to visit me on my holy rock.
It's one out of multi-million probabilities that I happen to walk there too.
Yeah, that's right. Angels, I'm going to add this. If you like to also come and visit me on my holy rock, as I would like to have John to come on my holy rock as well. Please go on Google, search as Seda Star Holy Rock. You will find a place. You will feel the energy that I have created on my holy rock. And then, you may meet me personally. You never know. John may be there too. Is that right, John?
I don't know. I haven't walked there in a while, so.
And I would like to have you there. I have many more questions, but the things is that I don't know if we run out of the time. But, I know that you like questions. If you ask certain questions, you get the answer. And I learned this from John. So, John, okay. This is the question. Have you had any mystical or spiritual experiences like being one with the divine?
One with the wine?
With the divine.
Oh, the divine. This is the wine.
Divine.
When I was a teenager, I was once one with the wine. But I think that most people have, even acute scientists that are materialistic and very mechanistic and non-metaphysical, have moments of inspiration where they feel that they're communing with nature or the universe, or you could call it the divine, not as an anthropomorphic deity that you're subordinating to, but as just a communion, panpsychic communion with the energies of the universe, you might say. And yes, I have had many, many, many experiences where I felt very present and felt that I was communing with my innermost self and revealed to myself information that I used to explore research in and to help expand my awareness. So there's no doubt that myself and many people, I think, have this. It's a non-uncommon thing. I think 97 to 99% of the population have moments where they feel communion.
Yeah. And then another maybe personal question, do you spend enough time with your family?
Well, my 3 children work in my business and they run the show.
Yeah.
So I just got an email in from a rock and roll leader in the industry of rock and roll who is thanking me for my daughter who had served him. He's coming to the Los Angeles Breakthrough, and he's a guitar singer, major guitar singer and singer. And he was just thanking me for my daughter's contribution to interacting with him. And I thought that was pretty inspiring because my 2 daughters and my son work in the business. In fact, they're at my office in Houston way more than I am. I only pop there occasionally.
Brescia, she's still doing her clothing.
My Brescia gives me my Demartini fashion, and my daughter is also teaching. Elena is teaching, and my son is also doing YouTube videos and is a YouTube personality, and for video games. And they all work in the office and help me. So.
What do you like to do? We were talking about it's good to have a little bit child spirit as well. It's not too serious, all right? Because So. You said that earlier you were surfing. Any other things that you do in your daily life to switch off from everything and just be a child?
I don't switch off. I don't really need to switch off because I love what I'm doing. So I don't. People ask me, what do I do to chill out? I go, I don't need to chill out. I'm pretty chill as I go. If I stop, I may stop and reflect and and meditate a moment. I may go for a walk sometimes, if I have a beautiful location. I may go swimming, or I may go surfing if I'm in a place where the surf is there. Sometimes I'll go for a jog. But most of the time, I can engage in what I'm doing 18 hours a day without a problem. I love what I'm doing.
Awesome. And when you go for a walk or when you're sitting in the lobby, like last time I just walked in, people like myself or some people, they come and disturb you. And is that all right? Or you just like your own time to disturb, like a lot of fans out there?
There's times when I have a very intense schedule, and I tell people that right now I'm eating it, and I will be leaving in 5 minutes, and so I can spend 5 minutes with you. Yeah. And that's it. And then I've got another thing that I'm wanting to do. I want to do another interview, or I want to get a book finished or something.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell people that we ran into each other. Fantastic. We have a few moments. Great. But it's time for me to go to the next thing.
Awesome. So this is it, angels. So I am so grateful to have John Dr. Demartini here with me. Actually, I would like to keep him all day, and I think he can tell as well. I'm sure you're proud of me because I can ask him a lot of questions. I have so many questions to ask. I would ask a lot more, but so we have to, before we have to let you go, we have to, like so many people here right now. Would you like to give us any message? Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, to whoever may be listening to our dialogue, whoever you are, the true you want to give yourself permission to be. Because the magnificence of who you truly are is far greater than any fantasies you might impose on yourself by comparing yourself to others and putting them on pedestals and minimizing you and trying to be something you're not. Don't live in anybody's shadows. Stand on their shoulders, see a bigger horizon, and give yourself permission to do something extraordinary on planet Earth. The real you is extraordinary. That's the message.
Any other question that would you like to add here, John?
No, you've done it. You got your goal.
Most important ones for you to the world.
I just said it.
Yep.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
They say know thyself, be thyself, love thyself. Still a good piece of advice.
I like when John says, give your permission to shine. So, I give myself permission that here I said, I can do that. I can interview John. Why not? Here I am. I thank you again from bottom of my heart for being here, John, and being part of my life. And you will be still part of my life for the future. I already know that. What else? Maybe how we should finish. We should just... I'm an affirmation freak.
Let's thank our audience for being so receptive and listening today, and that we have the opportunity to have time out of their lives. So thank you for taking the time to partake in our dialogue, and thank you for asking the questions. And I'll thank myself for being able to be just me, just sitting here.
Yeah, thank you very much for being very humble to John, and then because humbleness is the biggest communication. I think so. And thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, I love you. We all love you. We all love John. And would you like to give us what is your how people they're going to find you?
If they want to find out about myself, all they have to do is go to drdemartini.com. It's DRDEMARTINI.com. And on there is just thousands of interviews and podcasts and YouTubes and education. And if you have any desire to help expand and empower or master the 7 areas of your life, the information there can help you. That's my life's dedication.
Amazing. Angels, I'm going to say this one more time. I'm extremely excited. I am honored to have my first interview with John Dr. Demartini. I got different interviews before. I never done face-to-face. You are my first person and first special angel, and thank you again.
Thank you.
And then Angels, bye. We love you.
Bye-bye.